Hi, welcome to another segment of Chatting with the Chair. I'm Dr. Elisa Smith, and here today with us is Dr. Carlton Patrick, one of the new additions to the Legal Studies Department. Welcome.
Thanks.
So this is going to be an introduction of you to our students. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I'm an interdisciplinary legal scholar. I'm currently teaching in the Department of Legal Studies at UCF while I finish up a PhD in behavioral neuroscience at the University of Miami. And in the fall, I'll join the faculty full-time.
Wonderful. And what class are you teaching currently?
So currently I'm teaching a class called Law and Emotions, where we explore all the different ways in which law and emotions intersect.
Wonderful. And where did you get your JD?
Sure. So the full story is I got my JD, well, maybe I should back up a little bit. When I was an undergrad at Florida State, I got this very interdisciplinary undergraduate degree that wasn't a real degree. It was just a sort of collection of concentrations. I've always been drawn to interdisciplinary work. I graduated from there and I got my JD from Boston University School of Law in Boston. I practiced for about 4 years before I went back to get my PhD, and then have been working on that at the University of Miami for the past 5 years. I spent last semester as a visiting scholar at the Center for Neuroscience and Society at the University of Pennsylvania, and now I'm here.
Great. That sounds fascinating. Can you tell the students a little bit more about your research interests and how those tie into the law degree?
Sure. So I specifically went to get a PhD. My PhD is in behavioral neuroscience. That's another interdisciplinary degree. But my work, what I'm interested in, is at the intersection of the behavioral sciences and the law. So I generally think about 3 main questions. I think about how do people normally behave, just left alone in the sort of state of the world. How do we want them to behave? So legal questions about the state of affairs that we're trying to affect, whether it's we want efficient contracts or we want less crime, that sort of thing. And then I think about how do we move people from number 1 to number 2? How does the law take people and push them from how they would normally behave to this state of affairs that we've decided we want to produce?
Wonderful. And in addition to the law and emotion class that you're teaching, and I think you're going to continue to teach, what other kinds of classes would you like to teach at the University of Central Florida or create that we don't already have?
Right. I'm going to continue teaching law and emotions. I love that class. I think students really like it. I'm also going to teach next year a class called Law and Human Behavior, which is sort of, if law and emotions is a very zoomed in look at a very specific intersection between law and behavioral science, this is more of a zoomed out global perspective of how humans behave and why that matters to the law. And so not only are we going to do things like read cases, but we read papers from all over. So from psychology, anthropology, neuroscience, to really just take a big, global, holistic view of human behavior and why that matters for the law.
And I guess my last question is, what do you think the benefits are of having both the law degree as well as the PhD?
Well, it depends on what the PhD is in, but I think any PhD is going to give you another set of tools to think about the law. So the law is a very discrete enterprise. It has very practical, tangible things that it's trying to accomplish. In my case, a lot of times that involves making assumptions about how humans behave. But there's no formal system in the law for studying human behavior, so a lot of times you have to pick and choose from outside disciplines. So in my case, what the PhD gives me, in this case, is this set of tools to look at human behavior and think, well, how can the law be informed by these things? And I'm just one example. I think PhDs from other fields give you that same thing. It's a separate set of tools, a separate body of knowledge that you can then use to inform whatever branch of law you're looking at, legal policy, legal doctrine, that sort of thing.
Thank you so much. Thank you again. If anyone is interested in taking classes with Dr. Patrick, please reach out to the Legal Studies Department. You could also reach Dr. Patrick through email, or you can reach out to me, Dr. Elisa Smith, in the Legal Studies Department. Thank you again for attending another Chatting with the Chair, and look forward to seeing you again.